Well, hello. Good evening, everybody. Hold off for 1 second. My apologies. I was 100% ready, except for I forgot to turn the music off in the front room, which is not something I ever do, but I did it this time. Anyways, I want to welcome you all here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show. And we're here tonight on Into the Progverse to talk about the albums that came out in 1971, the progressive albums that came out in 1971. A very good year, one of the best years, I think, that prog music has ever been around. Lots of good stuff here. Um, and I'm going to go through the albums one at a time. I have a stack of about 14 or 15 here, and I'll give you some other albums too that I don't actually own, but which I think should be on this list as well. But I'll do that after. I'm not going to start until 8 because I'm a little bit early here. I came on a little bit early. Should have taken a little more time to go turn the radio off, or actually, not the radio, the CD player. I've been working my way through the Electric Prunes collection that I got in the box set. I'm on the third album now. It's quite good. It is. It's the first album's a little more poppy. Second album's a lot more psychedelic. The third album is just kind of different. I don't know what to make of it yet. I'm still listening to it. So when I get through it all, I'll probably do a review on the entire collection. Anyways, just going to okay, I don't know what I did there. So I've put up a list of other albums too that we will do at the end. I'll give you some honorable mentions. And we're going to discuss a little bit about each of these albums and why 1971 was such a great year for prog. I don't think it wasn't the first year for prog, but it was definitely one of the zenith years, no doubt about it. Hello, Vaughn. Welcome to the channel. We're going to be talking tonight, in case you aren't 100% sure, about the 1971 progressive rock album releases for that year. I've got the stack of the stuff I own, about 14 albums here. Probably could have included a few more, but 14 is a pretty good amount. And then I'll give you some honorable mentions at the end. Some of them I have, some of them I don't, but these are the ones I think are the really good ones. And I'll start very soon. I don't want to start right away until there's more people. But anyways, we're here tonight to talk about the 1971 releases for prog. So we're going to start with this one because it's on top. And this is Metal from Pink Floyd. Now, as you know, many people think that Pink Floyd is not a progressive rock band. But what Pink Floyd is they are a progressive rock band, but they also are a psychedelic band, a pop band, almost a metal band in some particular tracks, but really good stuff, strong. But definitely this one has a lot of that prog element to it, in my opinion. I do like this cover, though. It's kind of weird. Now, somebody once explained to me what this is. That is something about a toilet inside of a toilet bowl. I don't know. It doesn't really look like that. I'm trying a hard time to see it, but anyways, that's the cover of this album. If you want to see the inside, there we go. So this is a superb album. I have to admit, and I don't really know why this is the case with me, but I did not like this album for the first year or so that I had it. I don't know what it was. There's something about it that just didn't sit with me. And then I saw the Pompeii live DVD, and I watched it on there. And from that point, watching them perform Echoes and watching them perform live actually really energized me on this album. And so now I've been listening to it a lot, and it's waiting its turn in my playlist, of course, but it'll get in there, no doubt about it. And this was released back in November of 1971. So strong album. Now, most people tend to say that the first track and the sixth track are fantastic, and the stuff in the middle just kind of fills in. I actually kind of like some of that stuff in the middle, the Pillows of the Winds. I don't know what it is, something weird about that song, but I like it. Opening track, of course, One of These Days is fantastic. But I don't know if Echoes is the best. Well, it's the best track on this album for certain. I don't know does it rank in the top 5 Pink Floyd songs of all time. I have a feeling it will eventually after I've been listening to it for a long time. I loved the live Pompeii version of it. It was so good. Just like heart-wrenching almost. So good. So this is my first choice for tonight, Pink Floyd's Metal. Is this their 4th or 5th? It might even be, oh no, it's later than that. It's going to be their 6th studio album. Because Adam Hart Mother, I know for sure, is the 5th studio album. I always mark that one. That one's kind of my reference point. So this one, I believe, is their 6th studio album. And you could tell they went from Adam Hart Mother, which I like a lot, to this is a bit of a jump progressive wise. And I think this is going to be better too as it goes along. So that's my first album that we're talked about tonight, Pink Floyd's Metal. So next up is a band that I bought 2 albums early on in the channel because highly recommended band. But I couldn't get past the vocal part. That's been my issue. I'm hoping that someday that will calm down and I'll be able to get past it. So we're talking about Van der Graaf Generator's Pawn Hearts. I do not like this album. I do not like this band, but I don't see how you can talk about great progressive rock albums from 1971 without talking about this album. It's loved by many people. Instrumentally, I think they're probably among the best out there. But I just can't get past that vocals of Peter Hamill. It just grates on my soul. But I don't want to spend the whole time talking about what's bad about the album. It's just my own personal feeling about it. I have not opened this in probably 3 years. I listened to it about a half dozen times when I first got it. And same with the other one, Still Life, which is the other one I have. And I haven't listened to them since. I've tried my best to like these guys, but I can't get past the vocals, so it's going to take me maybe forever for that to happen. But one of the pioneers of progressive rock for sure. And this album cover is amazing. I love this album cover. It's almost like a chess match here. That's what it feels like when I see it, a chess match. Of course, the album on the inside is kind of a pink color. I'm not really sure what the hell is going on here. Maybe somebody can tell me what they think is going on there or tell me what is going on there. I don't even want to make a comment about it because I'm going to tell you what I think it looks like, but I'm not going to say anything. So that's Pawn Hearts from Van der Graaf Generator, also released that year. I don't know what month it was released in. It doesn't say here, but I know it was released that year. Next up, this album is waiting its turn in my playlist as well. Those first 3 or 4, maybe 5, I guess the top 5 or 6 albums by this band are fantastic. Everything else after that is really good still, though. I do like this one quite a bit. And we got a bit of a nude shot here. So this is Hawkwind and In Search of Space, their 1971 release. I believe this is their second. No, wait a minute. No, 71. Yeah, I think this is their second album. I believe it's their second album. Yeah, well, that would make sense because their debut was in 1970. So this is their second album. This is very good. Like, it's heavy. It's heavy, but it's got a lot of progginess to it. It's got a lot of spaciness to it. It's got lots of different stuff to it. Really excellent album. I haven't had a chance to listen to it a ton yet, maybe a half dozen times, but just an absolute killer album. Heavy prog, yes, absolutely. Welcome. Is it Progverse? Is that what you want to be called? Progverse Burton? Yeah, this is it's very early Hawkwind, a little bit different than some of the stuff that started to come out after, but heavy stuff, really good. Pike is fine. Okay, Pike it is. You know anything about Hawkwind? I do like this cover too. There's a picture of everybody in the band. Get up a close shot when they were young, right? Yes, I love this band. This band and Eloy are those two bands that I can sit there, put on, and listen to and never get bored of. I know it's very melodic and very spacey, but just some incredible sounds. And they've got so many albums, and I may never own them all. Absolutely. May never own them all, but still very good. Yes, I think he was in, but I don't know if he was in this far back. I know he's in some of the other albums. Hall of the Mountain Grill was the album that came out after that. But I don't know if he's in this one. Let me find out here. I think he is, though. I think he came aboard on this album, actually. I could be wrong, but I think he did. And of course, there's so much writing here, but they don't tell you anything about who's in the band. Let me see if I can spot him here. I don't think he's here. I don't think he's any of these guys. Doesn't look like any of these guys. You tell me. He was on the album. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, here it is. I knew it was here somewhere. So Nick Turner's in the band as well, and Del Detmar on synthesizers, Dick Mick on audio generator. It doesn't have his name here though as being on the album. It's kind of weird. And of course, Dave Brock, Terry Ollis on drums, but no mention of the bass player they got is Dave Anderson. Maybe he wasn't in the group at this point. I don't see his face in any of these guys here. I don't think he's any of these guys here. It's hard to tell. These guys are so young, and I'm used to seeing these guys are much older looking, right? But this as soon as I saw this album for the price I got it, I grabbed it right away. There's like the one that comes out after this, which is Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do. Really good album too. The first one is great, and then the two after that, Hall of the Mountain Grill and Warrior on the Edge of Time, fantastic, both of them. So that's Hawkwind, In Search of Space. Sorry. Next up is my favorite album by this band, absolutely killer band. I love just about everything I've heard from them. This was the album that kind of broke through for me. So I'll show you what I have here. This is Gentle Giant, Acquiring the Taste. So the first album that I actually owned by them was Three Friends, which I bought many years ago when I was still like a teenager. And I just couldn't penetrate it. I couldn't get into it. It just didn't didn't set me off. It didn't do anything for me. And I had all kinds of opinions about him, all of which are all of which are erroneous to the point of ridiculous. But this album, I put it on, and it took a while too, like about 3 or 4 months. It was on in my playlist, and I was playing it, saying I'm gonna do my best to break through. And then one day it just happened, and now it's my favorite of their albums. Probably the song that broke it through for me was "Wreck," which I think is the most commercial sounding, if you can get that, with Gentle Giant sounding song on the album, but it's really good. Pentagruel's "Naivety," excellent song. "Edge of Twilight" is great. And the kind of jazzy feel Black Cat, really good too. But this whole album I like, and Tony Visconti putting this out as well. Just an absolute killer album. This is their second. I love their first album too. I love the first 5 a lot. And then after that, they're good too, but maybe not as good as those first 5 albums. This one is fantastic though. So Gentle Giants, Acquiring the Taste. Also in this band at the time, you've got all 3 of the brothers, Phil, Ray, Derek. You've got Gary Green, you've got Kerry Meniere, and I believe this one is the first one and the only one with Malcolm Mortimer on it. Just going to check, but I'm pretty sure he's the drummer here. That doesn't say, of course. It's because I want to know. It won't let me know. Yeah, I believe it's Malcolm Mortimer on this one. Martin Smith was on the first one. I think he left after the first one and was replaced by Malcolm Mortimer, but I could be wrong. Maybe Malcolm came on the third album. Not sure. Anyways, excellent album, fantastic. One of the best albums of that year for sure. Yeah, I'm like you. I kind of like this one. I like this one initially. This was my favorite. I just loved the album. And I didn't think I was going to like the debut album that much, only because I found it was different than the next 3. But now I like it a lot. It might end up actually being my favorite at some point. I'm not sure. So yeah, great album. Next up is the next one up is going to be from Supertramp. This is their second album. A little bit of an odd cover on it, but this came out in 1971. I don't know really a lot about this album yet. I bought it at the same time as the debut album, but I've been listening to that one and I haven't gotten into this one yet. I'm still listening to it. I think I've listened to it maybe 4 times, so it's still relatively new. It doesn't really sound like Supertramp, at least not the Supertramp we would know going forward, but still a pretty good album, I think. I think it'll do much better once I get it in the playlist and I'm listening to it regularly. I like this a bit. This is quite neat, the back cover here. And then, of course, you've got all the pictures on the inside too. And the information on this is good too. So you got this features Hodgson on lead, guitar, bass, and vocals. Frank Farrell on bass, piano, accordion, harmony. Ricky Davis on keyboards, harmony, and vocals. Kevin Curry on percussion. Dave Winthrop on flutes, saxophone, and vocals. So Palmer was gone by this time. I thought he was actually on the first 2, but I guess he left and then they changed some of the other characters on the album too. So I don't know really what fully to expect on this album, but I think it's a Supertramp album and I haven't yet discovered one that I don't like. Next up, another band that, like Vandergraaf Generator, I just never could get into. I've gotten a little bit more into them lately. I've been listening to the debut album. This is their second album, of course, Tarkus from Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Many people say this is their best or one of their best albums for sure. I do like the cover and the artwork on this album. I just have not been able to absorb this album yet, or any of their albums really. I've tried to listen to them regularly, but for some reason, and maybe it's the lack of guitar that bothers me. I'm not really sure what it is. But I got into Greenslade. I like them a lot, so it seems natural for me to move from Greenslade to this, which is a little bit more keyboard oriented. I think if you can be more keyboard oriented. Yeah, I've never been even, I'm not sure why I just can't really absorb this band. And it's not from lack of trying. I have 3 of their studio albums, the 3 I think that I have Trilogy, this one, and their debut. You figured those 3, one of those 3 is going to get me in, but I've yet to absorb it. I think I'm closer now than I have been, and I think it's because of the Greenslade stuff that I was listening to. So anyways, Tarkus. Some of the noises on here are unbelievable. Next up is a band that I like a lot. I have their 3rd album. I bought this one not so long ago, and I like it too. They're a very different band. They have a lot of different sounds to the music. We're talking about Jade Warrior. This is their debut. Always have all this Japanese stuff on here as well. This one is a fairly lengthy album too. Like there's 10 songs, plus you got Telephone Girl on the bonus track here, released in 1971. I think they have a total of 5 early albums, and then I think they've released some other stuff since then. But I'm not 100% sure what that is. I actually ordered the 2 albums between the album between this one and the next one, or the next one, sorry, this album. The next one I tried to get it, couldn't get it. And the 2 that came after the other one that I had them ordered, and they had to be canceled because they weren't in stock. So I lost out on that. But this one is right at the top of my waiting list to get into my playlist. So it'll be one of the next albums to go in. Really solid band, lots of different stuff, a lot of progressive stuff, some kind of folky, not folky, but pastoral stuff. And there's some other weird stuff on it too. But yeah, I'm looking forward to really getting into this album. The artwork on these are fantastic too. So if you haven't seen, it's a fold-out book-like thing. Very good. Almost whenever I see this, it reminds me of John Christopher's Tripods, if you know the book. So yeah, Jade Warrior. Next up, another album, and this, you're going to find this is common with me, but I take a long time to get into progressive rock. It's my favorite music, maybe for that reason, I'm not sure, but it takes me a long time to absorb an album. This one was no different. Again, I do like the album. This is Caravan in the Land of Gray and Pink. Some great artwork on here. Penciling artwork too, fantastic. Just some absolute killer stuff on this. So it took me a while, but the first song I got into fairly quickly, which was Golf Girl. I love that tune. I love the quirkiness of it, the very British sound to it. But some of this other stuff is just fantastic. And the more I listened to it, the more I liked it. Yeah, 9 Feet Under, fantastic. Love to Love You, great tune. Winter Wine. And then there's some bonus stuff on here, which is just different versions of the song, which are really good. So the Hold Granddad by the Nose. Fantastic stuff. Just some real quirky stuff, but really good. Some of the keyboard stuff on here is fantastic. In the Land of Gray and Pink, fantastic. Caravan. And I've been trying to get more Caravan stuff, and it just never shows up at the record store. So I keep looking for it. I'm trying to find it where I'm not going to mortgage the house to get it. Next album, I think many people will like. This has got to be one of the premium albums of the 1970s. One of the best prog albums. I don't even know if this is really full on prog. It's got some prog to it, obviously, but I think of it as very different. Maybe a little folky, a little bluesy, a little heavy. Aqualung. Many consider this their magnus opus. It's not my favorite It's not my favorite album. I think primarily because I never liked the song Aqualung when I first heard it. Took me out of the Jethro Tull influence until much later. And then once I started listening to some other stuff and went back, I actually was able to absorb it more. This particular CD I have isn't very good quality either, although it does have there's kind of an excerpt with an interview with Ian Anderson, which is kind of interesting and funny about him and Robert Plant, which I thought was kind of funny. But a lot of the stuff on here is fantastic. Locomotive Breath, Wind Up, Hymn 45, My God is Good, Mother Goose, maybe my favorite track on the album, along with Cross-Eyed Mary. These are really good. I'm looking for the other one. Where is it? I don't see it. Well, Locomotive Breath, of course. My God is Good. It gets high marks for me too. So this is a really strong album. Jethro Tull's Aqualung. Next up, we're going to go with two from the same band. I think you all know where we're going with this one. So you've got the Yes album, their third one, and Fragile, their fourth one. I don't think either of these albums are their best album, but they're solid, very solid. The Yes album, some great tunes. Guitar work is fantastic. Bass tone is great as always. The drums are really good too. The weakness here, and it's nothing against Tony Kaye. I think he's a good keyboardist, but he just didn't want to play the style they wanted him to play. So they removed him for Rick Wakeman, who I think really fits the band well, but he doesn't play on this album. But I like this album a lot. I think it's because of Yours Is No Disgrace and Starship Trooper, which I think are two of their best all-time tracks. I do like the clap as well. Perpetual Change doesn't get kind of talked about much because of those other songs, but it's really good. The only weakness on this album for me anyways is I've Seen All Good People, which I could live without. After you've heard it 2 or 3 times or a dozen times, it kind of loses its flavor. So the Yes album. The other one, so this one I believe came out, this one came out first early in 71, and then the other one, which was Fragile, came out second. I think now this album takes a little bit of heat because of the little instrumental parts. People would have preferred more songs and less instrumental parts, but I kind of like the instrumental parts. I couldn't imagine this album without them, because Mood for the Day and We Have Heaven and where is it? And The Fish are all just absolutely killer. They're killer tracks. Can't have without this album. But the regular songs on the album, Roundabout, South Side of the Sky, Long Distance Runaround, and The Heart of the Sunrise, no weakness there at all. These are all strong Yes tracks. This album is well put together, sounds good. I love the album cover. I love Steve Howe's influence on the guitar. This is the album that kind of made him my favorite guitar player. But I love Chris Squire's absolutely killing it on Heart of the Sunrise. Yeah, fantastic album. Next up, we've got, I didn't know if I should include this, but a lot of people say it is, and it definitely has that feel to it. So we're talking about Uriah Heep's Salisbury. This cover is much better than some of the other dumb ones I've seen. Bird of Prey, fantastic. And the final track, Salisbury, I really like a lot too. The other stuff is quite good too. And I think the vocalist on here David Byron, I think that's his name. He's really good. Of the vocalists they've had, I like the current one the best, but I like him a lot too. Very good. I'm just going to pull this out for a sec. I believe this is Mick Box, David Byron, Lee Kerslake. Is he on here as well? Henley. Doesn't say, of course, they don't want to show you nothing. Okay, it's got to be here. Where is it? Not going to tell me, are you? Oh, Ken Hensley was the other guy I was thinking of. Ken Hensley, David Byron, Mick Box is, I don't think Kerslake is on here. I could be wrong. I don't think he's on here. I thought he was, but maybe he's not. I think he didn't come. Was he in the band initially? I don't see his name anywhere. And they don't tell you who's in the band. Nope. No mention of him in here. Now it's Keith Baker on the drums here. So here it is. So you've got the band, singer David Byron, guitarist Mick Box, bassist Paul Newton, organist Ken Hensley, and then the drummer Keith Baker. So yeah, Kerslake's not here yet on the album. But still, to me, this is one of their strongest albums. It's funny as the two ones that I thought I would like the most, the Magician's Birthday and Wizards and Demons, I didn't like them at all, really. Okay, next up, from another one of my favorite bands. This is a fantastic album, Nursery Crime from Genesis. First one with the two big guys that came in, Phil Collins, Steve Hackett. Really, those two guys really put this band in a different zone. Up until they came, they really pretty much relied on Tony Banks. Not that there's anything wrong with Mike Rutherford. I think he's a decent bass player. I have no problem with his bass playing. Not as great a guitar player, but very good bass player. And of course, Peter Gabriel's voice is among my favorite rock vocalists. But the addition of both Phil Collins and Steve Hackett really jumps this up a lot. And this album is fantastic. It's got 3 tunes that, to me, are outstanding. The Music Box, Return of the Giant Hogweed, and The Fountain of Salmaces, all really good. But I also like Seven Stones. Absent Friends is okay. Harold the Barrel is okay. Kind of a quirky English-style song, though. And then you got Harlequin, which may be the weakest track, but still not bad. So this is a strong album. Not to mention another excellent cover. I like. There is a version of this album out there somewhere. I've seen it. That the album cover is actually. See, this has different hues of yellow and orange, where that one has that green tinge to it. That's why I brought the water. Why I'm not using it, I don't know. Yeah, excellent album. Nursery Crime from Genesis. And then the last one in my stack is an album that I had difficulty with. So like Gentle Giant, maybe more like Vandergraaf. I didn't really care for this. It's very hard to penetrate. I love their first 2 albums a lot. I like Lark's Tongues and Aspic. And this one I actually like more than Lizards, but it's just difficult for me to penetrate it. Sometimes I don't mind it, other times I don't like it. Not really sure why. I do love the album cover. It's a quasar. It's the Mirasaki Quasar, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to go look it up. I think that's what it is. Picture is, anyways. Nice shot on the back here too. Very spacey looking album. And of course, it's on the pink kind of label, pink kind of CD cover which is normal for all of the editions I have, which I think are the 30th anniversary editions. But great album. Instrumentally, not really sold on it musically, so it might take me a while to get it. I think part of the problem I have with King Crimson on some of their albums, but not on all of them, is they're a little bit beyond prog, and they're more in they move over a little bit sometimes into that jazz fusion realm, which I'm not as crazy about. So I think that's part of the reason why I don't really absorb them too well. But this is their 71 album, which is their fourth release. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the albums that I don't own that I think I would like to own that came out this year, which are also prog. I don't know much about some of them as well. So the Mogul Thrash, this is an album that I've wanted, but I never kind of see it anywhere. So definitely would like to have it though. So let's mention the self-titled. I assume it's their debut album. Let's see what it says here. Doesn't say. Oh, they only have the one, eh? I didn't know that. I thought they had more. Barclay James Harvest, once again, and they have a second album that came out this year as well. I don't own either of those. I do have a couple of Barclay James Harvest albums. The debut and another one further along. I think it's like their seventh in the catalog. I like the later one a little bit more. I don't know much about these two. I haven't listened to them, but I do kind of like the vocalist a bit. Soft Machine, I have the debut, and I have 6. So 4 came out this year. I think it needs to be mentioned. It's I don't know too much about it other than it's what I used to call it the Red Album. So would like to get that one too. Moving along here. Procol Harum is not a band I followed much, so I don't know too much about Broken Barricades. I'm sure there's some people that can talk about that one out there as well. The Strawbs are a band I've only just begun to get into. I do have one, but this is not it. From the Witchwood, which is the one that came out in 71. Curved Air, I like this band a lot. I do not have or have not heard the second album, which is called the second album. I do like them though, so definitely a band one. Now, Frank Zappa needs to be mentioned. This is 200 Motels. I am not a huge Frank Zappa fan. I think he's a little bit too instrumental for me, and maybe a little bit like a lot of mix of a lot of different sounds and different eras and a lot of orchestratal stuff. I just never could I never could absorb his stuff. Maybe some of it I might be able to, but I haven't really pursued him. Not really sure why. Magma, not really interested in them. Family, I don't know much about them either. Gong, of course, I like, but I have not heard this album, which is called Chemabert Electric. It's the second album by a progressive rock band called Gong. To me, I think of, maybe I'm wrong here, but I kind of think of Gong as more of a space rock band. Flo and Eddie are in the 200 Motels, and that one, only 200 Motels. Oh, from Frank Zappa. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what it is with Zappa. I never quite got in. I do like some of his stuff, but it's kind of loosely sporadic all over the place. It's not really any particular spot. The Mavahishu Orchestra. I do have one album by them, but it isn't this one, Inner Mountain Flame. I don't have that one. I don't know which one I have. I bought it based on people's recommendations, but it's entirely instrumental, and that is hard for me. I'm not really a big. I do like a couple of entirely instrumental albums, but that's not one of them. Barclay James Harvest, and Other Short Stories, which is the other album that came out this year, needs to be mentioned. Now they have Zeppelin here on progressive rock. I do not really think of Zeppelin as a progressive rock band. To me, they're a hard rock, heavy blues band. That's the way I see them. I don't think of them as progressive rock. What else we got here? Anything? Traffic. I don't know much about Traffic. I've never followed them. Can't tell you anything about them. Really. Nothing at all. Baker's Opera, I have listened to one of their albums, and this actually might be it. Waters of Change. Yeah, this is the one I've listened to. I liked it, but I've not been able to find it, so I keep looking. Maybe mention one or two more. The Arthur Brown's Kingdom Come Galactic Zoo Dossier. I don't know this album, but I do like Arthur Brown, so I will look for that as well. The rest of them, the Renaissance album, definitely I will look for. Illusion. I believe this is their second album. Yeah. So I love the first one. I have the first one. So I started with the first one. I thought I would start with the beginning and work my way through them. And I'm at the first one now. So this one definitely is on my list to get. And that I think is enough for tonight as far as the honorable ones to mention and other ones that I would like to get and have. This is a good year for progressive rock. If you're a person out there and you're just starting in progressive rock, this is a good year to start in. There's a lot of variety here and a lot of different sounds. And of course, some of the best progressive rock albums came out this year as well. And so there you have it. That's my chat tonight for the progressive rock albums that came out in 1971. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. I appreciate the people who came and offered up some information and had something to say. That was very kind. Vaughn George, and Pike. Very good. I'm just going to give the albums back in case people are showing up now and haven't heard it. So I had Caravan in the Land of Grey and Pink, Jade Warrior's self-titled debut album, Tarkus from Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Supertramp's Addendable Stamped. Sorry, I can never say that properly. Gentle Giants, Acquiring the Taste. We won't say much about that one either. In Search of Space, Hawkwind, amazing album. Vandergraaf Generators, Pawn Hearts. This is, I think, kind of considered their magnus opus. Metal from Pink Floyd. Islands from King Crimson. Genesis, Nursery Crime, great album. Uriah Heep's Salisbury. Oh, sorry, hit the mic. And then the two Yes albums, Yes Album and Fragile. And then the last one here on the list of albums I've talked to about tonight is Jethro Tull's Aqualung. So I appreciate people who contributed and the ones who are watching. And we will try this again next week with 1972 is what we're going to do next year. We're going to move up. I will skip 1973 only because that I'm running a series called My Favorite Albums, 31 albums of 1973. I don't really want any crossover there. So I will skip that year and we'll go to 74 after that and then 75. So anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please hit the like and subscribe. That helps the channel a lot. If you want to make any comments about any of the albums, you can leave that in the comments section after the video stops. And we will see you all next Sunday night for another episode of Into the Progverse. Take care. Have yourself a good evening and goodbye.